Yeah, so it's me again, Margaret. Hey gang, Stan with Intentional Farms. This would be video number 8, looks like, on the schedule. Pretty well caught up with the history and documenting the things we've been doing and how we got started. So I figured we'd jump right into current events. And this is about as current as it gets. These 4 Hereford piglets have only been here about an hour and a half. We picked them up this afternoon. Today is Sunday, March 23rd, 2025. It is one day after my wife and I's 28th wedding anniversary. So I didn't get her any flowers, but the day after I brought her bacon bits. So hopefully she's satisfied with that. These little piglets came from some same family of pigs that we got our pigs from last year that we raised our first batch of pigs in the woods. So wanted to just kind of get this on film, and I've got a little bit of an imposter syndrome that I feel like I'm working through, because all of this stuff is nothing that I figured out. I'm no pioneer. I'm no groundbreaking farmer. I'm just smart enough to R&D, which is county speak for rip off and duplicate what other people are doing successfully. So a lot of people raising pigs in the woods. I'm going to give you a little bit of an overview of what we're doing and just kind of document our process here as we're getting started with this. This is the second year we've had pigs. So this structure that they're in is temporary. This is the schoolhouse. It's a training pen. There's actually 5 hog panels all the way around that. They've got shelter at the other end. That's a water with a float down in the bottom. I don't think I'll be able to get around there to get a view of it, but there's pressurized water, so it's on a float. They got water on demand. And then these, starting out, I used these R225 75 R15 pig feeders. We had a ton of those when we got started around here, so I had a timber laying around and got the top of it out, screwed those old tires to that timber, and we've used it for multiple things, but it works really good for this pig feeder because, believe it or not, the pigs cannot tear it up. I think those are rated for about 100,000 miles with pigs. So anyway, it works good. They are 8 weeks old right now. They were born, I'm going to call it January 23rd. Let's just call it exactly 60 days. They were born a week or so before the 31st of January. So they're, excuse me, essentially 8 weeks old right now. Let me back up. They are 8 weeks old. So they've been weaned, they've been castrated. There's three barrows in there and a gilt. We're considering keeping the gilt and breeding her. We don't know yet. That's a long ways off, but these pigs sure have been a lot of fun. So it's just going to kind of give some ins and outs of what we've been going on and the thought process behind it. So the whole training pen is designed to train them to that hot wire. You can see the posts. You can see the white wire at the bottom. That wire is tied into our electric fence. And the whole purpose of having that electric fence is so that we can rotate them through the woods much easier. Once they're trained to that, they will respect it and they will stay behind it. But the problem is, when you're training them, they have to have a physical barrier. If they decide they want to go forward, when they get that little bit of electric reminder, then they need a physical barrier that trains them to back up each time they get a tickle from that wire. So if you're ever wondering what it's like to be shocked by that wire, it's 9 times out of 10, it's more of a surprise. It's not a physical barrier, it's a psychological barrier. So we've all been shocked by it more than once. So more than anything, it surprises you and it catches you off guard. But pigs, from what I've learned and read, and from what I've actually seen in the couple rounds of pigs that we've had out, they are very intelligent. They are curious. They're very smart. They have personalities. These little piglets have only been here, like I said, an hour and a half, and they are already enjoying being a pig. The guy we picked them up from had held them in a stock trailer for us until we could get there to pick them up, so they haven't had any dirt for a little while to actually root around in, but they are digging getting the chance to just be pigs. So the purpose of pigs is multi-purpose. One, if you haven't been living under a rock, you understand that, excuse me, that pork and bacon and sausage is delicious. Let's don't beat around the bush. That's ultimately the reason you get started with pigs. Pork is good quality meat. I'm guilty of never having had a forested pig or a pasture pig until we raised our pigs last year. And to be honest with you, forested pork or pigs that get raised in the woods that get a forage taste absolutely nothing like any bacon or sausage that you can buy at the store. When we cook our pork chops, all we do is salt them, and they're quite amazing. So after having that experience, we realized that we wanted to keep up with it, keep on raising pigs and having pork available. As time goes on, we might continue to scale up. Right now, where there's 9 pigs on the place, there's 5 that we started about 60 days ago, and then these 4 just showed up. So one of the other benefits of having pigs is, well, there's a couple other benefits. One of them is they're hilarious. These pigs, once they get trained and they get settled into this place, they have more personality, they have more character. The kids enjoy coming over and messing with the pigs. Once the pigs get used to people and they're not being bashful, they're just like a big dog to an extent. They come up and they want lovin's, they want pets, they grunt, they hear you coming, and they get all excited. And so pigs have a lot of personality, and I've heard that before. I'd never really realized it till we got the chance to raise our own. So you can see these little guys going to work, and they'll have this all rooted up, which is perfectly fine. That's what we're looking for. Give them some disturbance, give that ground some disturbance. But the bigger picture is after they get out of this training pen, I'm going to do my best to stand here in this just about the exact same spot looking at this training pen, and I really want to do a before and after picture, before and after video. So we will keep these pigs till they're about 8 months old. That's kind of the industry standard guesstimate of how you can feed out pigs and have them get to market weight. We are just going to kind of keep an eye on it and see how they grow. They seem to grow. The last batch of pigs we had grew really well. The feed that we're feeding them is actually a bulk feed that I get from a producer. He's about 90 minutes from here, but I tell you what, after having fed this feed last year, I'm sold on the fact that it takes a little effort to go get it, but I appreciate what it does, and it makes the pigs healthy. So a little bit about the feed. It is a corn-based feed, but there is no soy in it. All of the grain that is in it, the corn, is a non-GMO corn. It may not be the organic label, but to be honest with you, if you ever dig in and do any research about what that organic label means, I don't have much faith in it anyway. So if I can buy something that's certified or that is described as a non-GMO, I'm satisfied with that. The non-GMO corn is a part of it. The peanut meal is the other part of the protein, and then there's multiple probiotics and vitamin packs in there. Pigs are they need a lot. They need lysine. If you want to feed soy and soybeans, soy meal has a high component of lysine. Pigs actually do really well on that. I don't know as I have an opinion one way or the other because I haven't tried to feed soy. I don't necessarily care for the soy meal and the products it gives to bake bread and then we consume directly, but I don't know where I'm at on actually feeding animals soy. I don't think I have a problem with it, but I don't have a market. I don't have an opportunity to try it. So I'm going to stick with this feed. Non-GMO corn. We do mix in a garlic sea salt. C90 has a garlic product. Last year we found that we had terrible tick problems. So we put, buy my feed by the ton. When I go get it, this guy grinds it right into my tote. I take 50 pounds of the garlic C90. We put it in that tote, and last year or in the feed. In 1 ton of feed, we put 50 pounds of C90 garlic. Last year, we had probably a 95% reduction in the ticks on our pigs, almost to the point to where I would say that they were 3 or 4 or 5 ticks per pig last year after we started adding it. That was a bit of an experiment, but we're continuing that. So we're keeping them on the C90 with the garlic. The C90 is really good for them. It has all of the 90 essential trace minerals, and animals just thrive on it. So with the combination of that and the clean water, we will give them some apple cider vinegar in their water on a daily basis. That really helps with parasites and insect. Look at those goobers, man. They just pile up, sitting on each other. Pardon the joke, but I guess you could call that one a butt head. I don't know. Anyway, I was back to the apple cider vinegar. We do feed all of our animals apple cider vinegar, and we will put some of that in their water on a daily basis. That is just a tremendous immune booster. That's a tremendous digestive aid. It helps them to process their feed more effectively, and really helps with this. As far as the immunization of these pigs have had nothing. This is all natural. No shots when they were born, no worming, no vaccines, no nothing. Our intention is to raise as clean of protein product as we can. So the sheep and the cows that we're all doing, we are working towards being vaccine free. We are vaccine free in our sheep, and we got just a little bit of progress to make on our beef, but that's where we're headed, is vaccine free, antibiotic, steroid free, all of that stuff. So back to the bigger picture of the pigs and their little worker attitudes. The good Lord blessed them with a shovel right there on the end of the nose, and they use it pretty effectively. So one of the things that we want to do is, and this is where I skipped away from earlier, I got on a bunny trail, but I'm going to stand in this same spot. I'm just on the south side of their training pen. I'm going to zoom out, hopefully not get myself any motion sickness, and then I'm going to pan. I'm panning to the west, so this is towards the creek. You can see the cedar trees, you can see the brush. You can't quite see just yet, it hasn't bloomed, but down in there's a pretty good patch of it. It's a bush called a coral bush or buckbrush, and when it flowers, it's thick. It's not necessarily hazardous or poisonous, but nothing will eat it, and it gets so thick you can't walk through it. And then as you keep scanning, you can see the greenbriers that have grown up in the trees. There's not a lot of blackberries right in here, but let me move down here just a little bit and kind of get you a pretty good idea of what the understory of this woods section looks like. So our place is made up of half pasture and half woods, and we'd like to reclaim some of this without the back-breaking labor and effort of old Manuel labor and the chainsaw and the brush fire. So the plan is, once our pigs are trained, we're going to fence this off with electric fence, and we're going to turn them loose in there. We're going to let them root around. We're going to let them do their thing. We're going to let them turn all that up and give it some disturbance. And then once they get done with that, next year or next fall sometime in the winter when the ticks are gone, I can actually get in there with a chainsaw and begin to do some clearing and strategically laying down these worthless cedar trees. We've got most of the cedar trees out of the pasture. I might leave some of them in the woods because they make a good shelter belt, but the cedar tree in the middle of the pasture, they say an average size cedar tree uses 30 gallons of water a day. So it sucks a lot of the moisture out of your pasture for your grass, and it has some component in the needles that die and fall off underneath that actually prevent the grass from growing. So cedar trees in a pasture, maybe on the edge of the pasture, would be nice for shelter, but the cedar trees in the middle of the pasture, we have trimmed and burned and cleaned those out. So anyway, this is going to be, I guess, probably the first video with a to be continued. I'll have to do my best, and I'm pretty sure I can because I really want to document this. I'll have to do my best to remember to come back to this exact spot. The training pen won't move. We're going to leave the training pen here. Once they're trained, we will fence an area And then we'll just open up maybe right here on this end or something to that effect. And they can come and go through there. Last year we chased that water tote all the way through the woods. We moved it every 2 weeks, and there's a lot of work to move that and reroute water and move feed tubs and all of that. So this year I'm not sure how it's going to work, but I think this might be headquarters, and I think they might just come back here for feeding water, and then we'll fence them out in different directions. Kind of use this as maybe the wagon wheel hub, and they can go. They're only going to go west to the most direction. They're not going up this way. They're on the edge of the pasture. So not planning on sending them that way, but sure thinking about just letting this be home base and letting them feed and drink out of this. I will be in the process of building a bigger feeder. This is what I start the piglets with. And I may have not had time to get their actual legitimate feeder built yet. So I will be building a feeder out of an IBC tote that's on skids that it'll hold. It would hold 1,500 pounds if I wanted to fill it up, but that's a lot of work. So we usually fill it up fairly regular, but the pigs seem to do well on it. It's a self-feeder, gravity fed, pretty economical, all things considered with what I've got and with what I'll have to buy. I could probably build a pig feeder for 50 bucks. The other pigs did well with that one last year. I've made a few changes, so surely it'll be sitting in here in our follow-up video. But anyway, that little guy right there, you can kind of see that hump in his back. I don't know what that is, but he seems to be healthy and chooching. So we're just going to let him grow out and see what happens. But that's one of the males. Sorry, that's just pretty amusing to me. So anyway, I guess this is like pig twister or something to that effect. So anyway, I think that's enough talk about pigs and cleaning up the forest and whatnot. So I guess as far as video number 8 goes, the story of the piglets and the current events, I'm going to cut off now, and we'll see you with a follow-up on this video in about 6 to 7, maybe 8 months. Anyway, talk to you later. Bye.